everyone. Today I'm just going to do a quick reaction to the first semi-final. Don't have much time, so no makeup, nothing special. It's very unrehearsed, but I hope that I will come up with something that's pretty concise and cohesive. First of all, I wanted to say sorry to all the people who actually wanted to see my live stream on Instagram. I completely forgot about it. It's not my fault at all though, because I had company. I wasn't watching by myself, and that company was a bit distracting. I'm not saying that they were distracting in a bad way, but they were distracting. So it's on them, not me. But I'm pretty sure no one was like holding their breath to see my live reaction. However, I am sorry that it's not up there. Anyway, I will try to not get distracted on Thursday, because I would really love to do like what I do every year, a list of my potential qualifiers and see if I'm right. So I can only tell you that this semifinal, I definitely would have gotten at least some of them wrong. So maybe let's first go over the list of who qualified. I think the first qualifier that was announced was Switzerland, represented by Marius Bear with the song Boys Do Cry. So anyone who's watched my previous reviews and tier rating knows that I hate this song. So I was very disappointed. I thought that the live performance was a little bit better than his studio version, to be honest, but still doesn't change the fact that I just hate the song. And now also I'm seeing all these Switzerland fans that are coming out of the woodwork. So I don't know, is it that people were just charmed by the live performance so much? Could be. So the next qualifier that was announced was Armenia, represented by Rosalind with Snap. So no surprise there. I think that vocally she did the best out of everybody that night, maybe except for Monica Liu, honestly. She was really good, and it was a very nice staging. I think that it was pretty ballsy of them to go like full TV mode, because I guess the audience could not see anything that was actually happening there when she was performing in that sort of room that she breaks out of at the end of the performance. I thought that was an interesting concept. Iceland was the next one qualifying, and I'm happy about that. I thought it was a nice song. I was thinking that, are they gonna make it? Are they not gonna make it? I thought that could have been a non-qualifier, but I'm glad that they got in. I would say deservedly so. I know that a lot of people are sort of like, Iceland, because it's so mellow, I guess. Iceland, obviously represented by Sistur with the song Med Häcken di Sol. Then Lithuania, represented by Monica Liu with Sentimente. So that was a surprise for me, because I thought the song was just a bit too weird. Obviously, like you could see with the staging, her outfit and haircut, everything, it was very, very retro. It was very kind of 70s. And as I talked about in my review video, in the song you can hear some of those like slightly retro synthesizer sounds, but overall the song does not sound 70s. So I thought that was a bit unusual, like it was not going fully there. Maybe people liked it because it wasn't like an obvious tribute to the 70s like LPS's Disco was, which, you know, was a bit maybe too literal with it. I prefer the more literal approach, but maybe the audience at large disagrees with me on that. Definitely, as I said previously, I do really appreciate her onstage charisma. I think she's a great performer. She definitely sang beautifully. She nailed it. So I think that definitely worked in her favor. So I'm not mad about it. I'm surprised, but definitely not mad. Okay, next was Portugal. So that was one of my favorites this year. Is one of my favorites this year. So obviously I'm not surprised by that. Maro with the song Saudade, Saudade. She did not sound as good as she did in the national selection, I think. A lot of people were pitchy. yesterday, which I think is just the nerves, you know. I hope that Portugal will do a bit better in the grand final because it's a great song. Norway, Subwoofer, Give That Wolf a Banana. No surprise there. It was obvious to me from the very minute that I saw them that they're going to be qualifying and they're going to do really well. It's that kind of song. It's just that kind of song. And of course, it's extremely catchy. The performance was good. It's funny. They have a whole choreo that people can copy, and it's kind of silly. So a little bit like, you know, Psy, Gangnam Style, that sort of thing. So yeah, a great package overall, I think. Next up, Greece, represented by Amanda Georgiadi for Tenfjord with the song Die Together. It's definitely one of the standouts for me this year. I really like the song, but she was quite pitchy in the performance, and even in the rehearsals she was not nailing it necessarily. She did nail the hardest part though. That was the one that was chosen for the recap, and I think that definitely helped her in qualifying. Overall it was not bad, but it's just, you know, was not maybe the most amazing. Okay, Ukraine. So Kalush Orchestra, Stefania, well, they did really well. The singing was good in the chorus. The rap I can't really comment on, you know that I'm not a super huge fan, but it sounded okay, right? And the dancing was quite fun, and it was definitely in a very different style from everything else, so it really stood out, so even less surprising that they qualified. The song itself is strong enough that I think that regardless of the political situation, it would have still qualified. Okay, now the biggest gag of the night was Moldova qualifying with the song Trenuletul. I finally learned how to say the title properly by Zdobsi Zdub and Advahov brothers. And, well, that was a complete shock to me. I'm not gonna lie. But not an unwelcome one, honestly. I was thinking like, you know what? That's actually, I love the fact that they qualified. I think honestly that people voted for them because, you know what? This really sounds like the OG Eurovision. I mean, if by OG Eurovision you think of the early 2000s, of course. Which for me, it is, because that's when I first got introduced to Eurovision, and that's when I fell in love with it. You gotta admit, their performance was very energetic, was very entertaining. I mean, it was really well prepared. I thought that the some of the changes that they made to the song really helped it pop. And honestly, I'm not surprised that they qualified. I think a lot of people just voted kind of for fun. It's like, this was so silly. I love it. You know, is that kind of feeling that this particular entry evokes. And I can totally relate to that. You know, this is why also when I was tier rating the songs, I was like, I'm a bit conflicted on this one because it's a little bit charming to me, actually. And I don't necessarily hate it that much, although it is kind of an annoying song. So I was totally okay with it. When I saw that they qualified, I was like, I just started laughing because it was just completely unexpected. And this is something that I love about Eurovision, these kind of unexpected moments. And the last one is the Netherlands with Steen and the song De Diepte. So I was very confident about them qualifying, so I was not surprised at all. So even though they left them till the very end, I was pretty certain that that last spot goes to the Netherlands. I mean, some person argued online that she didn't sound that great, that she was the worst singer. I don't think she was the worst singer, but definitely not the best ones. I would say that generally Ronella, Pia Maria, Amanda, and Steen definitely were the pitchiest ones of the night. You know, they also had difficult songs. They really challenged themselves vocally, and it doesn't always pay off, you know, but the song is still great, and I think that everyone recognized that. Also, I have to say though, regardless of the criticism, I think that was honestly one of the best live performances by Steen. I was really worried for her because I saw some live performances before the Eurovision, and she really did not sound that good. I think definitely the backing track with some of the backing vocals definitely helped. You know how it is. Also, I think we have to acknowledge that that's a big game changer, actually. The fact that they allow the pre-recorded backing vocals. Like, think about how different Give That Wolf a Banana would sound if all of these different ad-libs that are in the song and the yum 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 part had to be sung live. It would sound very, very different, right? Anyways, let's talk about the shock non-qualifiers. So, first off, Austria. I told you when I was T-rating all the songs that Austria is one of the songs that can go F themselves for me, because there was quite a bit of buzz around it online, and I was thinking, like, it's really not such a great song. Why are people so crazy about it? So when it didn't qualify, that was slightly satisfying, I'm not going to lie. But I did love Pierre Maria's reaction when she finished the song. That was so cute. So I do feel bad for her because of that. I think she's a very nice person. But yeah, yesterday was not a great day vocally for her. So I think that didn't help. Also, what I noticed is that Austria seemed to have lots and lots of fans on the Polish Eurovision related fan pages. But on Wee Blogs, the number one robbed entry, according to everybody, was Albania. I loved Albania as well, but we kind of have to look at what the performance was like on the night, right? Because the thing about us hardcore Eurovision fans is that we've been listening to the studio versions of the songs for weeks or even months now, right? So we know them by heart. We know how good they can be. Listen, she just did not do really well. Her vocals were definitely not on point, unfortunately. We know from the national selection that she can do way better than that. But the thing for me was that the staging just looked a bit off. There are moments in the choreo that seem a bit weird, like there isn't much happening, like they stop. Sometimes it was just not very synchronized really well with the camera work, because the camera would sort of zoom out, would show the wide view of the stage when they were doing something pretty intricate in the choreo. So we would really need to have like a close look at the performance to kind of see and appreciate what they were doing on the stage. These two things just didn't seem to work together really well, and I kind of already had that thought watching the rehearsal videos, and I was hoping that they would fix that, but they didn't. It is what it is. Slovenia, I was really sorry for those boys because they are really cute and sweet, and when I watch interviews with them, they remind me so much of my students, I always, when I watch interviews with them, I think to myself, like, wow, their English teacher must be so proud of them. Bulgaria, unfortunately, didn't qualify. I think that actually vocally Bulgaria was one of the best of the night, but I guess the song was just not strong enough. I mean, again, I said so myself before, so I shouldn't be really surprised. Well, Latvia didn't qualify, didn't surprise me at all. I was quite critical of the song myself. It sounds like Eurovision 10 or 20 years ago, but not in a good way. Okay, Croatia also didn't qualify. And, well, I wasn't a fan of the song, so I'm not super surprised. Although, it did seem like a pretty catchy melody in the chorus, so I was thinking that it might make it. But, again, I'm not surprised that it didn't. Also, Denmark, I wasn't a huge fan of that one either, so, again, didn't really surprise me that much. I'm really curious to see the detailed results of the voting in the first semifinal. Which we're going to get obviously after the grand final, and I'm going to be very interested in digging into it, like who barely qualified, who almost qualified. Those things are always very interesting for me. I'm hoping that it's Switzerland that barely qualified, because if they do really well in the grand final, I'll be pissed. Anyway, thank you very much for today, and I'll see you on Thursday on my Insta. I hope this time I don't forget or anything. Or also I'll do like a short recap on Friday. So see you there. Bye!